morning, students. Today we are doing our economics lesson 13. Economics lesson 13. Data response 3. Data response 3. This is a follow-up question to the data response question under production theory, about the production theory we did yesterday. This is a follow-up question. If labor and capital are obtained on a perfectly competitive market at $1,000 and $5,000 per unit, respectively. A. Cake rate, total cost at each level of output. B. Average cost at each level of output. 2. What do increasing returns to scale, constant returns to scale, and decreasing returns to scale mean in terms of average cost? Now let's look at the solution. Solution number 1. The total cost has 3 formulae. We have total cost, as I've given you in the previous lesson. Total cost is equal to summation of MC, that's marginal cost. Then you can say total cost is also equal to AC times Q, that's average cost times quantity. And you can also use this formula. Total cost is equal to total variable cost plus total fixed cost. The latter formula is applicable. Now, the total cost at each level of output is the total cost incurred on labor plus the total cost incurred on capital. So TC is equal to total cost of labor plus total cost of capital. We are going to use this formula. So total cost of labor, that's wage, at any level is equal to unit cost times units of labor. So, and total cost of capital, interest, that's interest, at any level unit cost times units of capital. So let's look at output 20. At output 20, total variable cost, TVC 1, is equal to 1,000 times 1, which is equal to 1,000. The total fixed cost of 2 is equal to 5,000 times 2, which is 10,000. Now, at output 60, TVC 2 is equal to 1,000 times 2, which is equal to 2,000. Then TFC 4 is 5,000 times 4, which is equal to 20,000. Now, at output 120, TVC 3 is equal to 1,000 times 3, which is equal to 3,000. Then TFC 6 is equal to 5,000 times, which is equal to 30,000. At output 200, TVC 4 is equal to 1,000 times 4, which is equal to 4,000. TFC 8 is equal to 5,000 times 8, which is equal to 4,000. At output 250, TVC 5 is equal to 1,000 times 5, which is equal to 5,000. Then at output 300, TVC 6 is equal to 1,000 times 6, which is equal to 6,000. At output 320, TVC 7 is equal to 1,000 times 7, which is equal to 7,000. And TFC 14 is equal to 5,000 times 14, which is 70,000. At output 330, TVC 8 is equal to 1,000 times 8, which is equal to 8,000. And TC, as we said, is equal to TVC plus TFC. So now we have our figures. That's for A. You have got this is the total cost at each level. Total cost at each level. Now let's come to B. Average cost at each level of output. Now we say average cost is equal to total cost divided by quantity. So you'll be using the average cost is equal to total cost divided by what? Quantity. So total cost of 20 is 1,000 plus 10,000, which is 11,000. The total cost of 20 at 20 is 1,000 plus 10,000, which is equal to 11,000. So average cost of 20 will be 11,000 divided by 20, which will give you 550. Now let's look at the average cost of 60. So if TC of 60, total cost of 60 is 2,000 plus 20,000, which will give you 22,000. So average cost of 60 is equal to 22,000 divided by 60, which will give you 355. Now total cost of 120 is equal to 3,000 plus 30,000, which will give you 33,000. So AC of 120 is equal to 33,000 divided by 120, which is equal to 275. Now total cost of 200 is equal to 4,000 plus 40,000, which will give you 44,000. So AC of 200, the average cost of 200 is equal to 44,000 divided by 200, which will give you 220. Now TC of 250 is equal to 5,000 plus 50,000, which is equal to 55,000. Now, so AC of 250 is 55,000 divided by 250, which will give you 220. Now, the total cost of 300 is 6,000 plus 60,000, which will give you 66,000. So average cost of 300 is 66,000 divided by 300. That's 220. Then TC of 320 is equal to 7,000 plus 70,000, which is equal to 77,000. So AC of 320 is equal to 77,000 divided by 320, which is equal to 240.6. So TC of 330 is equal to 8,000 plus 80,000, which is equal to 88,000. So AC of 330 is equal to 88,000 divided by 330, which is equal to 266.7. So after that, we've derived the cost table. So that's our cost table. You see, output ranges from 20 to 330, 20, 60, 120, 200, 250, 300, 320, and 330. And we have our TVC to be 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, 7,000, 8,000. Our TFC, total fixed cost, to be 1,000, 2,000, 300, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, 7,000, 8,000. Then we have our total cost. That is what we just did. The total cost is called TVC plus TFC. We have the 11,000, 22,000, 33,000, 44,000. Sorry, 11,000, 22,000, 33,000, 44,000, 55,000, 66,000, 88,000. Then we have our average cost. That is the total cost divided by quantity. That's why we have our 550, 355, 275, 220, 220, 220, 240.6, and 266.7. Now let's answer the second question. Question 2. According to question 2, it said, what do increasing returns to scale, constant return to scale, and decreasing returns to scale mean in terms of average cost? So A, when there is increasing returns to scale, because the average cost falls, as the firm experiences increasing returns from the first unit to fourth unit, AC falls from 550 to 220, as you can see from the table. So you check the table and you find out as AC falls from 550 to 220, it's called what? The increasing returns. Then B, when there's constant returns to scale, AC remains constant. There is constant returns to scale from 4th units to 6th units, and the AC values remain same at this level. That's 220. At level 220, they are constant. So you can see from the table. Then when there is decreasing returns to scale, AC rises. AC rises. So when there is decreasing returns to scale, AC rises. As the firm experiences decreasing returns to scale from the 6th unit to the 8th units, AC rises from 220 to 266.7. We will end here. God willing, tomorrow I'll give you questions to solve for me. This one I will not solve it. I'll ask you to solve them. For those I'm teaching, you solve more questions under this topic, total cost. I'll give you more questions to solve. Then this is the last. We are done with total cost. Our next topic is supposed to be market structure or theory of the firm. Market structure or theory of the firm. But since we'll be reopening school on October 5th, we will not do that one. When God willing, when we reopen school, we will do it. Also, for the total product, since it came this year WASSCE, so I'll not touch on it anymore. But I know, God willing, 2021 WASSCE, it will come in say OBJ, objectives. So you will learn it. But for theory aspect or the data response aspect, you not see it. So I'm taking total cost to come in 2021 WASSCE economics. So when we reopen school, we will resolve all the total cost again. So try to master everything on total cost. Because when I come, we will be on fire. And I'll make sure you learn it, the total cost. You solve more examples as well. So God will reopen school, we will do all these things. Then we get to market structures. We are done with Form 2 topics. We are in Form 3. Theory of cost theory is Form 3 topic. And we are about 4 or 3 topics so that we can finish the whole economics lesson. God being so good, I know when you reopen, we will be able to at least do about 2/3 of the Form 3 topics so that next time when you come to Form 3, get to Form 3, you just be doing revision because I'm almost done with the economics. God bless us all. Assalamu alaikum.